Hello and welcome to another game of StarLadder, day number 20. We are in Season 6 and we only have 8 more days to go with this one included. And this game will be between Kaipi and iCCup as the third game of today, where we will have 4 games in total. So after this we'll have another game. Better yet, we'll have another game with Kaipi up against Mouse, that one. But now up against iCCup. For all you people, before I introduce even my co-casters and statsmans, we will be having Sing Sing as a stand-in. I'm sure that a lot of people will be happy about that. Will be the second time that he does that for StarLadder. Of course, I'm not by myself, as this draft is actually going real fast, but I will make it quick. It is K-poptosis who will be doing the stats for today. You won't see him or hear him, but you'll see what he does. And the one that you will hear is my co-caster. It is Kanaz. Welcome back.
Good to be back.
I agree. Because these games I mean, official times of games were 20 minutes ago. We had a bit of a run out for the previous game that already started later to begin with. I am really looking forward to this game, because iCCup has been able to pull out some amazing results against some teams. It is a team that is either doing really well, or just really not that well.
Yeah, they're feeling like they're a little inconsistent at the moment, but they've put up some good shows, so hopefully they can do it here. KP have also kind of been a little inconsistent, sort of as of late. So maybe it's a sign one of these will be able to take something surprisingly. I think probably most people are favoring KP in this match. That's the impression I would be getting, but it's possible people are big fans of iCCup as well.
Yeah, and of course iCCup actually took down Mouse Sports, for example, last Wednesday, so, you know, they're definitely a team that you have to be careful with. You can't underestimate them. Do note, though, that the last time that we saw in StarLadder Sing Sing standing in for KP, he was playing Magnus, and they ended up winning that game. So, who knows if they can repeat that, as we do see the Wisp and the Bane getting the first 2 banouts, with the Darkseer and the Visage up on the side of iCCup. Lifestealer still going the way of KP together with the Gyro, so already having 2 strong cores. The Bedrider for iCCup together with the Shadow Demon also looking pretty strong though, and the Shadow Demon already on the same side of Bedrider means that there's not really something that you can do against the last suit target. Or against the target getting last suit rather. We have a Kunkka pickup for KP, and a lot of people will know that that is/was one of the signature heroes of Sing Sing in a mid lane scenario, though without a Bane they don't really have a setup stun right now, so we might still see them picking up that. As I'm just gonna go on because there's more bans. It is the Nyx Assassin as well as the Lone Druid, and the 2 mid heroes banned on iCCup with the Puck as well as the Storm Spirit.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, so they banned out some mid heroes. Kunkka is the pickup as a response, and now we'll see what iCCup want to go for. It might be a sign that they want to run Batrider in the mid lane. They could also pick up like a Queen of Pain or something here if they wanted to run that as a mid, and maybe the offlane Batrider who ends up juggling. They have a lot of options with these teams thus far, and it's kind of a really high-powered draft with Batrider, Lifestealer, and Gyrocopter being the first 3 picks. Lifestealer, Gyrocopter on the side of KP. I'm sure Eternal Envy is absolutely pleased to get heroes like that on his team. We'll see which one he ends up playing. I feel like he doesn't play Gyrocopter that often. I could be wrong about that. Lifestealer seems more like the heroes I'm used to seeing him play, though. Feels like he only ever plays melee hard carries. But just the impression I've gotten, I guess.
That's true. And what's one thing to note is that Lifestealer used to be the hero that would then go on the tri lane with Gyrocopter safe lane farming. But Lifestealer is not that strong on the lane anymore. So if you just safe lane Gyro and safe lane Lifestealer and just aggressive tri lane Gyro, you'd be in a better state, I think. But anything is possible. Lifestealer is a very survivable hero. We have actually seen him on the solo suicide lane done by Mouse a couple of times, and it has worked out for them as well. So anything is still possible. It is very easy to ban heroes out now up against iCCup, up against KP, because you know they need supports. You only have 1 more ban though, so that might be a bit of troublesome. iCCup, they picked up their secondary support already. They selected a Chen there rather, so they still need their mid lane / off lane, depending on what they want Batrider to be doing, and their carry as well. And that's gonna be a tough one, because they need to have a carry that can either out-farm / out-carry and the Gyro and the Lifestealer and the Kunkka, or they need to have something that is very dominant mid-game, and I think that should be their way to go, because there is no such carry that can actually do all 3 of those things, like can out-carry all 3 of those heroes at the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult if they don't end up
10 seconds
like having
remaining.
something really strong here to try and carry through all of that. And iCCup haven't really picked anything
5
that's
seconds
looking like it's going to be
remaining.
able to do it up yet. Batrider obviously great against the carry for pulling them out of position, trying to get them killed. But when you have sort of 3 heroes that are all really good at scaling into the later game, Batrider, his effect's kind of lost a little bit. You could still kill one, and usually their farm will be a little bit more evenly split than like one very, very farmed hard carry. But it makes it a little bit more difficult for them, so we'll see what they want to go for. Templar is a start for that, though.
Yeah, this is mid-game. And this could be really something that KP will have trouble with, because their lineup is quite greedy. So they need quite a bit of starting up time before they can really do stuff. And if they don't get ahead on the lanes, their mid-game is going to get really tough. So if iCCup gets ahead in the lanes, they'll be getting ahead in the mid-game, and that should be their time to shine, and maybe they can end the game before those 3 heroes of KP will be too big. Jakiro, though, a very nice hero to also turtle with, so a very defensive hero as well. Once again, though, not really a setup disable for the Kunkka's Torrent, so not really something that you can dual lane that with, but I'm actually just expecting the Kunkka to be solo now that the Templar Assassin is there. He can't do that. He can just do that as well.
Yeah, Templar Assassin's a pretty powerful hero that can try and do things in the mid game with a lot of physical spike damage. And some of these heroes on the side of KP don't really have great armor. Jakiro, Kunkka, even Lifestealer doesn't have that much armor, except when he's raged, but we'll see exactly what they're going to decide to go for their last pickup. It'll probably be whatever's going to farm their tri-lane. They're leaving it for dead last to give as little information to KP as possible. Whereas we're just looking for support from KP now. And they have a ton of options. It's really just whatever they think they want to run best. If they want to go really greedy, they can pick up something in the jungles. They have a Chen on the other side already.
Yeah, but can you really afford to do that? Maybe if you pick up an Enchantress and then go very aggressive with it, perhaps, and try to actually win lanes with it, but if that fails, you're gonna be so far from home.
5 seconds remaining.
The Shrek. Okay, so no real setup stuns apart from them being, skillful. With the Split Earth and the Torrent and the Ice Path will definitely be something. They have got a lot of shutdown, of course, in general. If Lifestealer managed to get close to a target, there will be an easy Split Earth for Leshrac, so we might see still an aggressive tri-lane, perhaps. Let's see what iCCup will pick up last. The Phantom Lancer was the last one that gets banned out by KP, because, I mean, as I said, maybe you want to have a carry that can take down all 3 heroes. So Phantom Lancer would actually not be able to do that, I think, but he would be able to just split push KP up until a point where KP can't do anything anymore anyway, so they end up banning him out. 1 full minute almost left for iCCup to pick up their last hero, though, so they can really think this one through. As, by the way, people, it is officially not allowed to have stand-ins that are also already playing in this tournament, but because Cupid actually dropped / disqualified, or they left on their own, that is actually not known. But since they are no longer in the tournament, Sing Sing stand-in, so that is why he is allowed stand-in. And they are going for an anti-mage. I am a bit skeptic for this one, because when he is big, how big will the Gyro, Kunkka, or Lifestealer be? And that's actually quite troublesome.
Yeah, Animage, he's great at farming very quickly, and he'll try and get ahead. But once it gets really, really late game, it's going to be hard to fight through kind of all of the physical damage that KP can put out. So we'll see how it ends up working. If they can get a ton of farm on this Animage, he could certainly be very powerful, and we'll see what they want to do, if they're going to run like an offensive tri-lane, if they're not going to. Eternal Envy, the one picking up the Gyrocopter at the moment, might just go to the top lane and be against solo Batrider, and leave Bone 7 to be in the offensive tri-lane with the 2 supports up against Animage, and of course they'll have a Chen in the defensive tri-lane for iCCup, so they're not going to have 3 heroes in lane all the time. It means they can put a little bit more pressure on the anti-mage early, unless Chen kind of just gives up completely on trying to jungle and hangs out really closely to that lane.
Yeah, one thing that we also have to keep in mind here, assuming that this is a defensive tri-lane, obviously, with the Shadow Demon there, if that disruption is going off too early, then an Ice Path and a Split Earth are there around the corner. The Ice Path could actually prevent Anti-Mage from also blinking out, and it could actually work against iCCup right now. So Always Wanna Fly has to be on the ball with that. And Always Wanna Fly is indeed the player that will play the Shadow Demon for his team, which is on the Radiant side, which is iCCup, with Resolution taking on the mid lane. on the Templar Assassin. We just dig in the jungle as the Chen. Jackal farming it up on the anti-mage, leaving the Bat Rider for Mag, who will be on the off lane for iCCup, and I will leave KP to you.
Yep, and for KP on the dire side, we're going to have Bone 7 playing the Lifestealer, Eternal Envy on the Gyrocopter, Come With Me on the Leshrac, Pilot on the Jakiro, and finally the stand-in Beaver Knight Sing Sing on Kunkka.
Yeah, 67% win rate with the games he plays Kunkka, and that's pretty decent. He's not the Admiral Bulldog of Kunkka, as we saw the Admiral Bulldog of the Slark earlier, but definitely a respectable win rate, and let's see if he can keep it up here, if he can increase it a bit. Because he will be probably playing mid on that Kunkka indeed. And let's see where people are going to go. We do see Bone 7 by himself right now. Support's not really yet rotating, so it might still be an aggressive trialing with the Lifestealer there. And I think it actually should be. It probably should be, but we'll see. Come With Me and Pilot right now rotating top rather than anything else, so we'll find out. One thing that you have to keep in mind is that there's only one set of wards at the start of the game, so you'll mostly always see the supports going from top to bottom to just place those wards and have multiple places where you can have vision rather than just one place and one side of the map where you have got that vision. You can't really use it anymore to block the camps all that easily, or at least you can't do it, but you have to be aware that it will be you have to spend your 2 words carefully, and you have got, of course, the sentries that you can buy indefinitely that you probably should use instead for those kind of counter word situations. And of course you can once again vote who will win. Case sensitive, no capital letters for iCCup, so vote !iCCup in small letters, vote !KP in capital letters if you think that will win. And it's of course !vote, not the other way around, obviously. In the chat, in the Twitch chat, unfortunately not in the Dota 2 chat, as that kind of votes are not yet implemented. I say yet because I'm still hoping that it will be, obviously. As the regen will be picked up by the Bat Rider on the top lane, leaving Bone 7 with a couple of HPs reduced due to the hits that got thrown at him from Always Wanna Fly from the high ground. But let's see how this aggressive trial will do. Of course, again, to note, Lifestealer nerfed. Ranged on open wounds, very, very low. 200 at level 1. And they'll still place that ward to counter ward.
Yeah, so he's a lot more difficult to kind of set up the fights with, but open wound's still very powerful. Yeah, they're just blocking it with their heroes, it looks like, and now they're dropping that ward to block the mid to this big camp, while also counter warding.
Yep. Also counter warding, indeed, that ward there was gone. And hereby also that Chen camp, creep camp, blocked with that sentry ward. And in the meantime, Jackal, he's the one that we have to watch out for most, because, I mean, even if Bone 7 fails here on this lane, you still have a farming in Gyrocopter, right? So it is not going to be over for KP if they lose that aggressive tri lane. They also have a mid lane there that, you know, even if he loses mid later on, he'll still be that one big hitting machine if he gets that Shadowblade / Chrysalis, as we saw in the previous game. So for iCCup, it's just one. It's just Jackal. If they lose Jackal often, they don't really have that much to fall back onto. So we'll see how he does.
They have the Templar Assassin in the mid lane resolution playing that, and you can lean pretty heavily on a TA in the mid game, hoping that she'll get some work done for your team. So they can do that and try and buy time for Animage if he struggles in the spot lane. It looks like he probably will be already kind of falling behind Bone in terms of last hits, which is somewhat, or not really unsurprising.
Yeah, in terms of
Not
the mid
really
lane,
surprising.
resolution sitting on 8-3, with Sing Sing sitting on 6-2. Do note that the fraction will be reduced in stacks with the splash damage from the Torrent, so that will help out Sing Sing a little bit there in terms of able to stay alive, able to maybe go aggressive up on that Templar Assassin. We do have a rotation though. I mean, Chen, he actually went into the dire jungle right now. So this is just Always Wanna Fly hanging back behind Jackal, and if they go on in, the disruption will be there. But as said, you still have an Ice Path and a Split Earth that can follow up on that disruption. But interesting to note that Regisig actually just abandons his carry there and just wants to go for farm, wants to go for that fast mechanism, probably, to make sure that he can be a big factor in the mid game. As we do have resolution pop in the illusion rune, but should be okay. Yeah, we'll be okay.
Yeah, So this is pretty much all Weejizik could do, because they warded so much of the Radiant jungle trying to stop him from being able to do anything. He had to go to the other side. It's actually safer there for him as well because there aren't any supports up there. But they have to be careful in this bottom lane as well. Jackal, if he gets disrupted, actually the setup from KP off of a disruption is really good. Both Jakiro and Leshrac are heroes that we've seen picked up with Shadow Demon for using disruption as a setup. It's very easy to land Split Earth after it, and of course you can just drop Ice Path over it, and when he comes out he's immediately stunned, won't even have a chance to blink. So they can actually get kills on Jackal if they try and save him with defensive disruption. In the meantime, it looks like they might go top lane.
Yeah, in the mid lane, in the meantime, always want to fly, also rotating top. They're just gonna go for an aggressive tri-lane all of a sudden, leaving Sing Sing alone in the mid lane. And I guess the upside for leaving Jackal alone, I mean, and you save him from not getting disrupted. But in fact, I mean, if Pylite Dice slows, Jackal will know to blink away. If Come With Me starts with the stun, Jackal will know to blink away. If Lifestealer comes running towards him, Jackal will know to blink away, because that is what you can do. There's no real setup stun for KP. They were relying on that defensive disruption to maybe get something off there up on Jackal, so he can just gain levels here and maybe not get that much last hits, but at least not die, and that's the main thing right now. They will leave Bone 7 to farm though, so they'll KP will still win the bottom lane right here. They're actually doing okay here on the top lane as well. Not as well as you might think though. It is 14-3 up on Eternal Envy, who now gets some support from the Leshrac rotating. The supports themselves smoke up in the meantime, going mid, having that Centaur, so disruption followed up by a Centaur stun will be very potent there. Bedrider, by the way, sitting on 21-4, so he's actually winning that top lane in the end. But let's see if they can catch out Sing Sing.
Yeah, Sing Sing should be careful here. They actually had Come With Me pinging all over their forest, like directly where the supports were rotating. So he's going to hide behind his tower probably, and just be as careful as possible. He doesn't want to get caught out by these supports rotating in. And they're actually drawing on the map to go around the tower now. Yeah,
Sing Sing did have a salve being brought towards him, so that he could have and a full bottle still and a double damage rune, and not get caught out with low HP, and that actually forces the supports to rotate back again. The pings go off, they have got that ward of course, even though it's almost vanishing. That is what the downside is of rotating before that 6-minute mark, is because of the wards. You know, the last 6 minutes you might as well wait until for that extra minute to just hope that your opponents don't have any new wards. But they got scouted out, so that's gonna be that's gonna be KP knowing what they're up against. In the meantime, Jackal's still sitting there. They now want to go for him though. Here comes the slow. The blink is still there, and they can't go on him. That's the thing that just keeps coming.
Well, they can go on him, they just can't kill him.
Yeah.
And just knocking him out of lane is really all they need to do. We see he's got 5 last hits on Animage at 5 minutes, and that's some poor last hitting from him. And there's not a lot he can do about it. You can't really just say, oh, well, it's Jackal's fault he's getting completely that last hit. It's really the way their lanes worked out, and they knew exactly what the lanes were going to be from iCCup before they picked that Animage.
Yeah, looks like Resolution might be in some trouble. The Split Earth still hits. Here comes a Torrent as well as a boat. Resolution doesn't have refraction up. Boat will hit. He won't go down though. The melt will keep him safe. No vision coming off from KP and no extra AoE damage going through as well. So he doesn't go down in the end. The top lane has got some troubles though. They try to go for Eternal Envy. The Rocket Barrage still does some damage to the illusions. Eternal Envy with 4 sticks of Sticky Napalm, 3 stacks of Shadow Poison. 4 now is there. Oh, that's only level 1. They can't get it in the meantime. Always Wanna Fly does end up going down. First blood goes to Jakiro as the tower does a lot of damage there. Of course, no vision anymore with the Shadow Poison, so Eternal Envy could just hide in the forest. The first blood does go the way of KP, who is, by the way, a 72% in favor of the viewer audience in Twitch. So, iCCup sitting on a mere 28-something%, 27-something% in terms of voting.
Yep, and it's looking good for them right now.
Denied.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Yeah, that's an interesting fact that Torrent did multiple instances of damage in Dota 1, which is very good against the game. Come With Me.
Yeah, Come With Me getting a kill. That the Split Earth still hit. Come With Me very low. But the blink was on cooldown, and Anti-Mage ends up dying before he gets to his level 6, which was only 10 experience away. Come With Me with the kill, getting himself some extra levels, meaning that he is, as a support, level 4, doing really well, especially considering that iCCup has got one support that's actually farming, so Weejizik. He is level 4, and the support that's not farming is level 2, who is now level 3, but still very, very big difference there as KP secure their second kill of the game.
Yeah, so they get 2 kills, 2-0 now, and one's on the anti-mage, which is very good for them. The first was on support, which is like, whatever, they got first blood out of it. But getting these shutting down this anti-mage for as long as possible is going to be very, very good for KP right now. And they're doing okay in farm. In most of their lanes, Bone 7 getting the best of it on the map at the moment. He's actually getting ganked here as well.
Yeah, and disruption will be there. Centaur with the stun, but the rage is there. Infest out. Oh, yeah, but, you know. The Centaur is great for follow-up stuns, but if you have a Lifestealer there who can infest out, your Centaur is dead. And that's gonna be something that we just think we'll be pretty unhappy about. Because he's only level 4, he only has got 1 creep, I believe. And, I mean, that was his creep. That was his stun. Go look for another one. Yeah, that's a tough one to take as Mag. Takes a stunning. He does have his lasso, but he can't take someone down by himself. He's actually taking a lot of damage right now. Might go down. He will go down. Flying away. Doesn't save you there. Envy with 4 stacks of sticky napalm just diving that, leaving Pylai die to take the tower hits.
Yep, so they get another kill. Going this time the way of Eternal Envy up in the top lane. Gives him some additional farm and also creates some space. He was kind of getting last hit at this point by the Batrider. Just because it's a kind of hard matchup for him. Batrider is pretty annoying to lane against as basically any hero. And Eternal Envy had to get the wand just to have the charges from napalm in case he gets initiated out. But doing okay now. They're pretty close to even. He gets a kill as well, and there was that first blood that took place in his lane. So sitting fine on farm and definitely better off than where the anti-mage is.
In the meantime, it looks like we're heading to the situation where that you mentioned. Resolution, the only one that can really buy time for the anti-mage right now, and he is doing okay on the net worth. He is second highest on the map with Bone 7, as you mentioned already, highest up on there. He is not rotated yet though. He is just sitting here farming, which he is doing okay in, but he hasn't tried to create that space that the anti-mage really needs. And he might actually go down as Come With Me has rotated now here as well. It's back in the middle lane. We do have X mark the spot. Maybe he can use that as a setup, even though it's only level 1. You can try to land a torrent with that, but looks like Come With Me is also rotating away again. And they're just gonna chase for the rune,
middle tower is under attack.
which is top. So both running in the wrong direction, which is actually not top. Who took it? Haste rune for... No? What?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Nobody got the
So-
rune. Okay,
Someone killed it, I guess.
must be.
Someone attacked. I didn't see it. So, but if no, oh no, it was a haste rune, right?
No,
Oh no, that was the one that. Okay.
I was confused there as well. So
Yeah.
okay.
All right. So the rune just got killed, I guess.
Yep.
It looks like they're going in bottom lane again, though.
Yeah, Pylai die. We'll already scout them out though. And that will probably force Bone 7 back. Actually, no, he's going in. He has to be careful though. I mean, there's a net around there, and Rage won't save you then. As there is now an armlet up on Bone 7. So he'll have that. There's 2 versus 4. And they're not really running as fast as you might think they would. So quite surprising there. But that just shows the confidence of KP. They're happy with keeping iCCup busy, while they know that the gyrocopter is still also farming away. The tower went down on the top lane. iCCup is losing space on the map, is losing maybe their anti-mage actually. Disruption will hold him safe. Here comes an ice path. No, dual breath rather. We'll still take some damage from that, but at least the ice path was on cooldown. Still 4 heroes here in the bottom lane, and they're not getting anything out of it. In the meantime, again, this top lane, we have a level 3 edict on the map. This tier 2, nobody is coming in to defend it. I'm not sure what iCCup is planning to do. Well, maybe they'll try to deny it at least. Here comes Mag. Split Earth will stun him up. And they will not take the last hit on the tower, especially not with also Resolution coming in here. The first time that he leaves his lane, and he leaves it for nothing at all. He does end up slowing them down, but
Radiant's top tower has been
he doesn't get anything out of it, apart from the deny tower.
Yeah, he sets up the deny in the tower. If he doesn't port in there, I think they stay long enough to get the tower kill, just because it's only Batrider, and they're not really concerned about Batrider too much. I'm against the 2 of them. But with Resolution there, that's kind of scary, and it looks like they're going in the bottom lane now.
Yeah, I always want to fly. He gets an ice path. Bone 7 chasing him down as well. Doesn't even need an open wound. 1 more hit, and Lifestealer takes the kill. Lifestealer, who has been farming really nicely, as we saw the stat just now, even though he went for that armlet before the drums, still at a pretty decent rate. And of course, we have to remember, it was an aggressive tri-lane that he's in. He is not a free farming Lifestealer, even though in the end he turned out to be a free farming Lifestealer, obviously. But I mean, doing really well for his team, buying space for Envy as he goes, and In the meantime, Kunkka, he's sitting mid, also been able to get farm, resolution, edict already down because of that, or refraction already down because of the edict. Oh my god, he pops up a new one while the edict was still there. That's not that bright of an idea, but oh well. He ends up living, that's the one that matters. Bone will find himself a hellbear. Yeah, should be fine.
And KP just rotate to this mid lane. They have 4 heroes here now. They're going to put pressure on the tier 1. And while they're doing that, Eternal Envy's going to take the tier 1 in the bottom lane, the only one there. At the moment, it's always been fine. They're actually initiating at Eternal Envy.
Yeah, Soulcatcher's going to be there. Envy still wants a tower though. Doesn't get it. The Knight does end up going down for it. Do you think that's worth it?
The mysteries.
It's hard to say. They really wanted to get the tower. Towers are even more valuable to last hit now with this most recent patch. But Eternal Envy does die for it, so it kind of puts a lot more pressure on Lifestealer, I guess, because it gives him the additional farm. He's going to pick up drums.
Yeah, it's very, I mean, normally I would say yes, it's worth it. But in this game, there's a very low kill game here, which is normally the case when KP is playing, actually, I believe. So, all the kills that you do get are all the more important, especially the ones that you get up on the carries of your opponent team. So, yeah, I'm a bit torn. But hey, he was happy with it, so he went for it, and he got it. All good. And ends up with 2,200 gold in his inventory, so sitting pretty decent there for himself. As Mag almost got himself that Blink Dagger. We might see a bit more aggressive stance from iCCup when that happens.
Yeah, they can start trying to make things happen with that Blink Dagger, but they're not really, I don't know, they're not in a great position anyways. Even with the Blink up on Batrider, they can try and get pickoffs, but a lot of heroes from KP are moving around together. And Batrider can just die pretty quickly. Also, the Sync does have points and X marks the spot. So if whoever he decides to pull, he immediately X marks the spots. You can actually pull him away from the Batrider lasso and break it.
Yep.
And we'll see if Sing Sing ends up using it that way, or just uses it maybe on the Batrider to get the kill on the Batrider. But it's definitely something they can work on doing in bottom lane.
Oh, bottom lane cooldown comes down. Mag is in trouble. He has got his Blink Dagger though. Should be able to get away. Home Mist, I will still chase him all the way to the base if he wants to, but at least he gets himself out alive. We still don't have any towers down on the side of KP, who are already having that map control with having taken down all tier 1 towers on iCCup. In terms of gold, they're ahead by about 7,500 gold. Experience graph not that big of a difference though. Oh, there goes a disruption, and that's always gonna fly dead. Yeah, counter warded there as well. KP with a bit more aggressive stance right now. No Shadow Blade yet up on the Kunkka, but he does have his Claymore, so he's pretty close to it.
Yeah, he's getting close to his Shadow Blade. He already does quite a bit of damage just by virtue of being Kunkka. But doing well for KP right now. 5-1 that kill score. They're leading in terms of net worth and experience by a pretty decent amount. Experience maybe a little bit less. But things going well for them.
Yep, and in the meantime the Kunkka, or sorry, the Anti-Mage is sitting at a lower net worth than the Batrider on the solo offlane. And that's pretty troublesome. iCCup, they have got this window of opportunity where the Anti-Mage in theory should be stronger than KP. Before, of course, KP's 3 cores will be out carrying iCCup, and that point is a long way away from this. And it's actually, okay, a Bone 7. KP might be in some trouble. No, never mind. The disruption is there. Might actually have helped a bit. Bone 7 invests into a creep. Invest out on nice HP again. Might decide to chase. In the end, nobody ends up going down. So iCCup not with their Blink in lasso getting a kill, but also KP not dying and not getting a return kill there either, even though there were some TPs in there to try and get something done.
Things going good for them. They tried that gank was a lot committed to Bone 7, but they can't even get the kill on him. He just walks up and invests the creep, gets basically all of his health back, and that was 4 heroes, I think, up in the top lane from iCCup. And when you commit such a large gank and you don't succeed, it's really problematic for you. You spend a lot of time, you spend a lot of money. Even the Anti-Mage was up there, so it's not like they were buying time for Anti-Mage to farm.
And Gyro might be in some trouble, tries to TP out, Soulcatcher is there, oh, Eternal Envy gets a test of faith. Resolution, can he chase this down? He doesn't have treads, is able to slow him Envy a bit more down with the trap, but the TPs come in, and right now, they have to be careful. iCCup, they're on the run, blink out from Mag, nicely done, but they are fleeing. Weejazik in some trouble. He is the one closest to Bone. There's no open wounds anymore for 4 seconds, but it doesn't look like he'll need it. Disruption will be there to try and help out. The send home is there as well as we just Zig against X mark the spot. We'll be back here in just a moment. Gets taunted together with his creep and we'll end up going down. His creep probably will drop with him. As Bone 7 will not let that Centaur run. There we go.
So that's another 4-man gank where they commit a ton, and then they end up even giving away a kill this time. So, pretty much awful for iCCup. Things are not working the way they want to. They're scrambling, trying to make things happen, get kills on these carries on the KP side because they know Jackal doesn't have anything. And it looks like he is still going for Battle Fury with that broadsword pickup, which is kind of insane. At this point, he's nowhere near it.
Dire's top tower is
Yeah,
under
it
attack.
is. You know, it's something like you want to have it because you need to be at some point be able to flash farm. But it is so difficult to see because right now Antimate he can't do anything in the fight, and we know for a fact that he won't be able to do anything in the fight for another at least 15 minutes if he gets free from now on, and he won't get free from either. And 15 minutes is a long time when you've got yourself on the side of KP a pretty fat Lifestealer, a pretty fat Kunkka who now has a Shadow Blade as well as a Gyrocopter who seems to be going for a Lincoln's.
Maybe? I mean, I guess that's the only thing that makes sense. Yeah, he picks up the Lincoln Sphere recipe, so that is what he's going for.
In the meantime, Lifestealer does end up going down, but as does TA, so that was a trade, a good trade for iCCup. The Lifestealer ends up going down on the bottom lane. Looks like Jackal's gonna be in some trouble as well. X-Mark spot can't blink away, even if he tries. Oh, actually, the X-Mark spot was just a minute before. Was it a second before
Radiant's middle tower is
that
under
blink?
Yeah, there was a little bit of delay between when Sing Sing did X marks the spot and Torrent, and that was enough time for the blink to go off
Radiant's top tower is
for
under
Jackal there,
attack.
so he gets away. But it ends up just still being that trade Lifestealer for
Radiant's
the
structures
Templar
are
Assassin. Normally you're saying, yeah, that's a fine trade, it's made for sort of their carry. But with what the game is going, Resolution dying is one of
Yeah.
the worst things that can happen for iCCup right now. They really need him to kind of snowball here, and he's not having the success he needs.
Oh, he's still building towards the BKB, but at this rate it will be a long time before he has that gone. Badrider can't be taking that role up either. I mean, he would also be someone that creates space, but we've already seen him try it, and right now KP's heroes are pretty tanky, unless you want to go for support with that, which you don't, because you need to pick up the main heroes to slow their farm down, but they are too tanky right now to take down in the duration of one lasso, and that's pretty damn tough. In the meantime, we do have KP going in again with the Lishrak with Come With Me, and of course Sing Sing on his Kunkka. The Shadow Blade is there. There's also some ward coverage. This is just part of the map of KP right now, on the wrong side of the river or not. They have got this map control. And Jackal still scrambling to find his Battle Fury.
Yeah, he's like halfway there, a little bit over it, I guess, at this point. It's gonna be like a 25-minute Battle Fury though. That's not good. That's like 10 minutes plus after really when you want it. Like, did he grow up treads before? I guess that's at least something for him. He had to get the treads just to kind of be involved in the game, but he's getting left alone, so he might be able to get it soon.
Yeah.
But while this is going on, map control is going the way of KP.
This is only the 8th time that Gyrocopter's bought a Lincoln Sphere. He just really doesn't want to get lassoed, I guess. And be playing the defensive build. And to be fair, he doesn't really need to go for damage because Bone 7 and Kunkka already will do that for him. So that
Yeah,
will be something that will help him out. Help his team out as well.
Definitely something he can do because he can grab. Just Kunkka's going to do so much damage in these fights. Bone, he's already building a Death Slayer, so he's going to be doing a ton of damage. Come With Me, as just by virtue of being Lishrak, does a ton of team fight damage. He's only level 8 now, but Edict's still a good spell, and once he starts getting points of Pulse Nova, that can do a lot of AoE as well.
Yeah, in the meantime, the Desolator almost up on the Lifestealer, so Bone 7. We already knew that he was pretty fat, but he is starting to get fatter as he goes. Do have a pause coming up from iCCup as we see Resolution 300 gold away from his BKB. 4 stuff being built up by Mag, quite far away as well. We have got Ouija Zig with the mechanism, normal brown boots though. But at least he will be able to keep the fight going on a little bit longer if his team survives. And you know, you mentioned like it will be a very late Battle Fury, which is indeed the case. I mean, he's almost got it now, just a Void Stone and he has it. But after the Battle Fury, he needs to be able to farm a bit before he can actually do stuff as well. So it is so tough. And right now KP, as you already mentioned, I mean they've got the map control there. They've taken over. They haven't even tried to go for Roche yet, so we might see them going for that after taking down the last outer tier 2 tower that's standing. And maybe with that Aegis they will try to go up on the high ground, and when that happens, Anti-Mage might have his Battle Fury, but he won't have anything else at that point.
Yeah, and Battle Fury doesn't actually do much when it comes to just trying to defend towers early game. Like, eventually, the cleave can be pretty powerful, but right now, it doesn't do anything. He doesn't have any damage, he doesn't really have any attack speed, or survivability. Anti-Mage, if he tries to go in and just cleave people down, he'll just die.
Yeah, and yeah, that is pretty painful. I guess the upside for him is that Kunkka is not as highly farmed as the other 2 cores of KP, but I mean that's just bonus damage for KP really, because Bone 7 is doing most of it, and he's actually gonna be trying to go on someone here maybe now as well. No, doesn't find anybody anymore. But yeah, iCCup, their plan: avoid fights, try to get their items up, and when they are ready, and not a minute later, because they can't afford to wait longer when they're actually ready, try to fight and try to take the fights and just go for the throne rather than taking all the lanes out. They really can't afford to take multiple fights. They need to take one big good fight. And that's
yeah,
it.
they need to try and take a huge team fight, and their team fight isn't even really as good as KP's.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a problem for them as well. I'm just not sure what this draft from iCCup expected to do, I guess. They picked an anti-mage last, a hero that needs a ton of farm to really come online, and they knew they were going to be up against they should have known at the very least they were going to be up against the aggressive tri-lane coming out from KP with the Lifestealer. It was pretty obvious, I think, for probably everyone involved. Eternal Envy always likes to go safe lane. Regardless, he went solo this time, that was fine. They knew they were going to be up against the Bat Rider. He was able to get at least some farm, but the aggressive tri-lane for KP just went so well that iCCup haven't really been able to gain any footing in this game.
Yeah, they are going for Roche right now. They might lose something on the top lane though, as the Eternal Envy is trying to defend their tier 2. That should actually be enough. We do have Mag hanging around there, so maybe they want to try something there, but I mean, there's the Lincolns. So, good luck with that. Of course, well, actually no. There's nothing that these 2 have that could actually pop the Lincolns. So they can't go for him. Roshan goes down, Bow 7 with the Aegis. Will scramble away, will eat himself back to full life on the Centaur. Good stuff. And right now is just waiting for KP to just try to go high ground with that Aegis that they have. So within the next 6 minutes they're gonna be going 5 men somewhere as the TA picks up a BKB, so at least you'll have that for the next fight, but you won't have buyback. Probably.
5.5 minutes and slower. Yeah, that's pretty slow
Yeah.
for him. He did get shut down very hard early game, but you know, it comes to the question: when is it too late to go to Battle Fury?
Yeah.
Or when do you have to start trying to kind of cut your losses, go for some sort of mid-game item? He went for the broadsword first, so he was somewhat committed to Battle Fury at that point. Instead of normally going like the Ring of Health, and then maybe you can build a Vanguard if you want to.
Yeah. He didn't leave much options for himself.
Yeah, he had no option at all. I mean, the other things broadsword go into are things he's not going to pick up. Blade Mail, that's never going to be the case, and like a first item Crystallis for any mage makes no sense whatsoever.
No, that would be the first thing. Probably in pubs, but the first time that I would...
Yeah, I don't even think I've seen it in pubs. Everyone even goes Battle Fury there.
It's a known build. It is known. Well, it is also known that we do have a Gem of Truth set up on a Bat Rider who is now invisible looking for a pickoff. He picked up a 4-staff before he went hunting. There's no vision here for KP, but they did see resolution there. But yeah, you can't go in on that. Mag must know that the Lincoln is there by now, so... Like, he is the one person that they keep finding that they can't take down.
Yeah, they're definitely struggling thus far to get that done. And, I don't know, they're gonna... KP, we have some counter warding going on in the range jungle, so they're taking away control of that from them. They're running out of towers. They actually have no outer towers remaining. So, I think it's just a matter of time before KP try and force something with this Aegis.
Oh, I agree. 2100 gold up on the Lifestealer. Maybe they want to wait for another big item to be up. We do have Gyrocup to picking up the Yasha for Envy. But other than that, maybe he wants to. Maybe they want to wait for the Deadless up on Sing Sing's Kunkka.
It's possible they just want to get some more big items up and they're just using the Roshan as sort of a farming tool, and they're not actually going to ever utilize the Aegis. It keeps them a little bit safer, they can farm a little bit more aggressively with the Aegis, like in the Radiant Jungle where they're all hanging out for the most part. And if they want to go that route, it's certainly possible they're going to extend the game by another at least 10 minutes.
We know what, like, it is the style of KP though. They are a team that is known for playing so safe, and just to hope that their enemies make mistakes and go in on that. Just the 4+1 strat, which is not really the case in this game, obviously. Well, I guess still, in a way, I was Envy still farming by himself and the rest of the team doing things elsewhere, but they are known for trying to at least make 100% sure that when they go in, they are ahead. And otherwise just not go in and just play very defensive and starve their enemies as they go. In terms of gold, obviously.
Yeah, they're just sitting here, and I don't know, they're given time for Animage to catch up though. Jackal's in their jungle farming. He's going to get closer and closer to having that Manta style up. So it's kind of, you know, questionable whether or not this is the right call, just because Animage was so far behind. He had no game impact at all, and with a Manta he can at least do something in a fight.
Yeah, the question is how much exactly though, because I mean, they will be able to find the real anti-mage real fast. I mean, he's still a bit squishy, and the splash of the Kunkka exactly will mean that the real anti-mage will be remaining, because the Kunkka has got his deadlifts about-ish, and that will be trouble for iCCup. And I think that by the time that he has that, the Aegis will still be there for another minute, so they will go in then. Well, I hope they will go in then, because as you say, they might as well wait until the next Roshan if they really want to make sure that they are ahead.
Double damage.
Invisibility.
Yeah, so it looks like they're just gonna kind of hang out until the next Roshan's up and just farm. So they're farming at about the same rate as Anti-Mage, sort of. I guess Anti-Mage is farming very quickly. He's past resolution now. I don't know. They have two carries that are still out farming the Anti-Mage at the moment. It's just, eventually this is going to be pretty bad for them, and iCCup are going actually for smoking.
Well, let's see
Dire's
where they're
middle
gonna be
tower
heading.
is under attack.
They will go into the jungle to find the one person that they can't do anything against, or at least not lasso-wise. The Test of Fate will be able to pick off the Lincolns though, so that will be good for them, because they haven't had something before that. As the Manta style is now also up on the Gyrocopter, so he has that one complete. Here they come, there goes the Lincolns, and there's the lasso, and that should be a kill. Nicely done. That will delay KP's way of going in. Ice Path still comes down, the TP still came. They might be able to find resolution, which would be huge, but he turns on his BKB and he will TP out. In the meantime, Mag, he doesn't have a BKB, so he goes down, drops the gem as he goes, will be picked up by Pyrelite Die. So that's gonna be happy time for them, and not losing resolution is a big thing. And actually slowing the push in from KP is probably bigger, and that's worth losing a Bat Rider for, I think. Losing a gem for? I'm not sure. Losing a Bat Rider for? Yes.
Yeah, they're sitting here not really doing anything, farming away, and that kind of makes it obvious where Eternal Envy is going to be. He's in his jungle. They go and they set up the gank on him, and while they're doing that, that puts Eternal Envy further, like slows him down, and it gives Jackal even more time to farm. He has the gold for that Manta style now, immediately picks it up. So, KP, I don't know. I just don't know if this is the right play.
No, they're waiting a long time. They are waiting a long time, and the anti-mage, he's now doing better. And of course, in the meantime, resolution, we can't forget about him, because he can also turn into a pretty dangerous semi-carry with that BKB. He now also picks up a Desolator almost complete, just needs the recipe. And by the way, for people watching, obviously, this is KP versus iCCup, so the match between KP and Mouse will start after this one. So no panic. Mouse Sports will wait, as will, well, we will wait until KP is done here. And I'm really thinking, like, their Aegis is gone. It has vanished. And I think they've just been too passive. Kinda awkward cooldown there. That's a deadlist up on Sing Sing though. Maybe that's what they were waiting for still, and maybe now they will go in. But oh, Lasso up on Envy. Resolution with the damage. Is there enough? Is the question. Soulcatcher there as well. Rock Rush trying to do what he can, but he can't get enough. Damage through, that is. And he goes down. There's a pause from Envy. Lag. A cool lag.
Yeah, sure. I love how terrible the Lincoln's pickup is right now for him. It's being countered by the Force Staff. Batrider blinks him, Force Staffs Envy, then lassos him every fight. So it's just Mag, like, aware that he has that Lincoln Sphere and just like, well, I'm going to counter that item with my 2,000 gold item, your 6,000 gold item. And it looks fantastic right now. They're getting these kills repeatedly on Envy. It's giving them more and more space. Next Aegis is up in about 3 minutes, and that's probably what Kaipi are going to want to go for. And they're not going to have as big of a lead then as they did, I think, 10 minutes ago. I guess it's pretty close. They're losing it a little bit. They're still going up in gold.
Yeah, very fast Daedalus pickup on the Kunkka, I guess. Still 4 minutes faster than the average. Pretty decent. It is 30 minutes in, and he has got that Shadow Blade as well as the Daedalus complete. As we do have Jackal. I mean, right now, not even, like, not his carry potential is a dangerous thing. Oh, X marked the spot. He will wait for blinking up, but he will still. Why doesn't he blink? Why doesn't he blink? Oh, thank you!
Giving you a heart attack, that's why.
Yeah! Like, he was just an inch away from that ice path. As the Desolator is now up in resolution, but yeah. Okay, we have got the heart being built up by Lifesteal in the meantime. He does only need the orb, and we'll be having enough gold for that in one creep. So that's nice. But I mean, what do you think? Like, if we managed, if this game lasts for another 30 minutes, which, dear God, I hope it doesn't, because it's like, you know, yeah, I think you know. Anti-Mage TA versus the carry potentials of KP. 30 minutes from now. Because I still think KP.
KP still win as long as they don't do something silly, and right now they keep letting Eternal Envy get picked off, and we can look at their net worth and see the result of that. Anti-Mage is up to 2nd in net worth from being like 6th or 7th a while ago. He's actually past the Gyrocopter at this point. Eternal Envy just keeps getting killed. That Lincoln Sphere pickup looks pretty much god-awful at this point because it hasn't done anything this game. And Anti-Mage, in the meantime, he's been able to farm. He's up to 2,300 gold beyond a Mantis style, and just 10 minutes ago, he didn't even have his Battle Fury done.
Yeah, he is getting higher up on net worth, higher up on the gold per minute. He is doing the anti-mage thing, and his split push potential is one thing that they have to worry about. There are still a lot of towers up though, so they are allowed to trade things. They don't have to trade for racks yet, so to speak. But they also might therefore not be as aggressive to Jackal if he is actually split pushing, because they think, oh, you know what, we still have towers standing anyway. And that gold that will then go to iCCup will be very important, because right now they're holding their own while being at a 12k gold deficit. What will happen when those 4 towers rather, will still go down, is that they'll actually have that on top of being able to keep even. They'll get extra gold compared to KP and might be able to get ahead with that gold, as Mag is sitting in a very dangerous spot. But it looks like he's gonna be fine. Yeah, he will be. As well as KP, by the way, because they were, of course, in blinking range of lassos from the Bat Rider.
Yeah, and they're going to have a lot of trouble killing Bone. I think the fact that Bone is farming very well and doing a pretty good job this game is going to be what is kind of KP's
Jackal! He mantas, but he still ends up going down, gets caught out completely. And Sing Sing with the kill. Sing Sing hits 17% more heroes, enemy heroes that is, with the Ghost Ship than the average Kunkka. That's quite a lot, actually.
Yeah, Ghost Ship, not the easiest spell to really land. But if he lands a lot of them, it's definitely good for his team. You really only need it to pass over them to get a great effect of it, just with the damage reduction. But they're going to get the next Roshan. Kind of expecting Eternal Envy to end up picking this one up.
Yeah, maybe with this one they will actually go, like, of high ground. Well, we already predicted that they would do it with the previous one, but they ended up continuing to farm, and they put themselves in a bit of a tougher position that they were beforehand. Knowing that KP might actually decide to wait until they're at a better position that they were then, but I'm really hoping that they're going to use this and just try to take down some tier 3 towers, because I think they can, especially since they have picked up Jackal. Maybe force them to buy back, but they don't do that either, and it's frustrating. Frustrating game.
Yeah, Jackal dying is kind of a big deal. Slows him down. He's actually fallen behind Resolution and farming again. Resolution's getting pretty big. It's hard to say though. Kaipi, they're pretty big as well, and it looks like they might actually be committing to something here. Or they're just faking us out, and it's just gonna back off immediately upon hitting the tower.
Let's hope they don't, but I think they are gonna go in. They have to. They have got everything they want. They've got the heart, they've got the Daedalus, they've got Aegis, they've got even a Manta style for the Gyrocopter. No BKBs needed apparently in this game. On the side of the Dire, that is. Nobody building BKBs. We still have a Bloodstone being built up by Come With Me. He wants to be able to kill himself. That's cool. Bone. Wants to just get for the tower before going back off. Who takes a lot of damage, but he infests out. Now he goes in. Torrent will miss.
Dire's top tower
Resolution will be trying to kill off the last suit Kunkka, who does end up dropping. LeShrek goes down as well as Jackal came in with the Mana Void Ice Padlocks in. Jackal takes a lot of damage, blinks himself away. Resolution also able to get himself out, might be able to take down Bone, gets the Aegis off him as there is now a exiting KP. Pylai will go down with the gem dropping on the floor. Bone 7 will pick that up as he also runs. Gets a trap. He doesn't have an infest. He will rage. Was there more? There's no last two, but they will just try and chase him down. And they will be able to slow him down as well. He should end up dropping unless his team comes to save him. But everybody else is fleeing. KP's Envy is just getting away from that as well. And indeed, Lifestealer ends up going down. Great defense from iCCup. And now we know why KP didn't go in before. Well, actually, no. That's not true. Now we know why KP should have tried to go in before Jackal started to be an anti-mage that we all know and fear and love.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
it's just kind of insane. Kunkka got picked off first, and KP, you know, that's really bad for them since he's the one doing damage. Eternal Envy went for this really defensive build, so he's not actually hitting that hard. He does 200 damage, which is great and all, but he could have had something like Monkey King Bar instead of his Lincolns, for example.
Yeah.
That gives him significantly more damage. So he's not really hitting that hard. Bone, he was in the fight, but he gets kited pretty easily by this line for iCCup. There's a ton of slows. They have that sticky napalm that Mag can just keep throwing out in the middle of the fight. And we have a Daedalus picked up now on the Templar Assassin, and we already saw how hard Resolution was hitting in that last fight.
Yeah.
And now things starting to look pretty bad for KP.
Yeah, the gold graph, we see it going upwards. It's still 10k in favor of KP, but it doesn't seem to make that big of a difference as we just saw. The experience graph shows it a bit more how we feel it is. It was in favor of KP quite heavily, but then all of a sudden, a fight, and then KP died. They actually, like iCCup, doubled the amount of kills that they have, as you saw that K-poptosis just threw out the stat, saying that a lot of people died for the first time on the side of KP this fight. With also one thing to note is that Lifestealer didn't just die once, he died twice, or at least the Aegis got burned, and then he died again. KP, they do smoke up, they know that they can't really wait too much longer. Well, actually, they can either wait very long, or they can try to make something happen right now. But apparently it's gonna be happening right now, or at least they're looking for something. But the Radiant jungle is completely void of heroes from iCCup because they are actually roaming on the top lane and middle lane, and actually Dire jungle where Jackal is farming right now, who picked himself up a Ogre Club. So BKB is around the corner for him. He can actually pick it up, but buyback for him is so important since he is the one to carry his team right now together with Resolution. They need at least one of those to have a buyback, and since TA just bought herself a Daedalus, she doesn't have it. Antimage has to have it.
Yeah, enemies with the buyback, you know, it's strong, it's necessary, but at the same time, they're so far behind that they need to have things. They need items. They need their gold to be going into items to play from behind, and we have a BKB and an mage now. That's gonna leave him able to just do a lot of damage in these fights.
Yeah, let's see. Bone 7 are getting slowed down. The Monarch first being there. Jackal just clearing out creeps.
Dire's middle
And KP
tower
gets
is
forced
under
back.
attack.
And they actually decide to not go because in the meantime Resolution was split pushing top. Got some damage done on the tier 3 tower, which is really nice for him because Anti-Mage can also finish that job later on if he starts split pushing. And yeah, it's starting to look really pretty bad for KP. They just need one good fight though, that's the thing. If iCCup take one good fight, it is not over yet for KP, but if KP take one good fight, they can GG this game. They can end this game, I think.
Yep, iCCup still playing from behind. We don't need to try and mislead people that this is like, you know, KP have suddenly fallen really far behind. They still have a lead, but the lead is dwindling, and I think I'm really hoping that this Lincoln's ends up looking really good for Eternal Envy. Otherwise, it's probably going to look pretty bad because that item, if it doesn't do anything in this game, it was basically 5,000 gold wasted. And that's what allowed Animage to get back in the game.
Yeah, in the meantime, looks like KP does want something here though. They find the Anti-Mage. Jackal forced to blink himself away. Homo Missile still chasing him down. He jumps onto Mag. So he would be able to have Bad Rider by his side should something happen, but they don't chase. They do force him away from their tier 2. Two tier 2 still standing on the side of KP right now. And Anti-Mage net worth still below that of Bone 7's. But Resolution close by. And actually Resolution is slightly higher than in net worth than Jackal is. BKB ready up an anti-mage though with 3,600 gold to spare.
Yeah, come with me actually as a Bloodstone.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Suicide. Leshrac incoming. And if he
Get
has
ready.
enough stacks, because this is. Oh wow, Jackal! He just jumped himself into this. Cooldown coming down. He meta splits. He's blinking himself out. Should be able to stay alive. Or is he? He TPs himself out without using his BKB though, and the Hung Missile also hit. Now the TP is on cooldown, or TP is not there. He blinks. He runs with the first BKB charge used to escape. Could have just BKB TP out, but tried to be greedy. Ended up still being able to get away. Unfortunately, still using his BKB for that, as Envy now finished up his butterfly. So that will be a nice item for him to have, and no MKB on the map to counter that yet.
Yeah, not yet, and they don't really have that many heroes that would really pick up MKB. Resolution can try and go for one on Templar Assassin, though it's not really standard practice to pick it up, but it's very good against BKB and probably something that they're going to need. Anti-Mage, like, very rarely, if ever, gets BKB or MKB, I think. I don't know how often that would really happen. Maybe Statsman could give us an idea on that, but it's not really an item we see on him. And Bone 7 just going for barracks.
Yeah, he knows that BKB is still on cooldown. The Lifestealer, he infests, boat comes in, Resolution. Not gonna get hit by that because he's in his BKB, but it does mean that all of KP is now with that buff. There goes a mana point, not doing enough just yet. Bone 7 might actually end up dropping here. And he does take a lot of damage, but doesn't end up going down. Anti-Mage is the one that goes down, and by his back. KP, they got the buyback, and they back up from it. That boat buff really saved KP right there.
Yeah, it's the only thing that kept Bone 7 alive, and they can't... If he goes down, they just have to go back on that fight. He's so much of their damage, and also their tanking power right now. Sing Sing has quite a bit of damage as well with that Daedalus. He's also got 3,800 gold. Eternal Envy with the Butterfly pickup is starting to hit pretty hard. But they really, really need Bone 7 to stay alive in the fight, so that was almost a very, very great pickup for iCCup. Fortunately, you know, the boat regen or damage reduction's there, and they survived.
Oh, look at that damage still going through though. Bone 7 actually taking quite a lot of damage there. Jackal, he doesn't have buyback, but he has got his BKB again, and they might try to counter initiate just to get a kill and just to force KP away. But the open wounds up on Jackal will force him to blink away. In the meantime, the disruption holds Pilot died there. With Always Wanna Fly in some trouble, the Demonic Purge will slow Bone 7 down, and he didn't have an open wounds because it was on cooldown. So ends up not able to chase, but KP maybe with this tried to go. Resolution jumps in there, it's the last two up on Bone 7, cooldown coming down as well. Up on 3, but Bone 7, he does drop. Mechanism keeps Always Wanna Fly up, and that is gonna be Anti-Mage. What was he still doing there? Ends up going down still to the Gyro. What was he doing there by himself? Picking up Leshrac is great. Did he actually suicide? Yes, he did. Come with me, suicided to get more heals for his team.
And to deny the kill from Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage just tried to pick off supports, but like, he couldn't... Once the Bloodstone heal went off, he couldn't get any of the other supports. Leshrac had already died, and he didn't even get the kill. Jackal, it's really questionable to try and think about what he was doing back there. He's not that big yet. He has the BKB. Maybe he's feeling confident as a result of that. But he ends up just feeding a kill away, and now he's down, can't be farming. And this is the best time for him to be farming while Bone 7's down on the other side of the map.
Yeah, that's an upside for iCCup as well, because if Bone 7 would have still been alive, that would have been game. No buyback on the Anti-Mage means that you can't... Like, iCCup, they can't do anything right now. They only have Resolution as damage, which is great, but it's not enough. You need that Anti-Mage to be there too, and... Yeah, that was just a bit of an awkward blink forward from Anti-Mage. I think even that iCCup could have won that fight if he just held back, if he was with the rest of his team, and then just started picking them off one by one, and maybe not going for Leshrac as the first target there, because indeed he just suicided, healed his team, and you know, he can't do that, even though there are a bit of Bloodstone charges used. Doesn't really matter, because he's not going to get that much charges anyway, because there's not that kill heavy game. Looks like Roshan will be taken down by iCCup this time though, and that is a first this game. And a cheese on top of that one.
Yeah, it's going to be the cheese, so that's going to be pretty much fantastic for them. Anti-Mage's not there, so they're just going to give Aegis to Templar Assassin. Who actually picked up the cheese though?
Oh, they'll probably give it. Yeah, they'll probably give it to the Anti-Mage, I think.
They're trying to. There we go.
They're trying to.
His inventory was full, I think, so they end up just giving it to Anti-Mage. And he's got the cheese that'll help in case he goes a little bit too aggressive again, and just needs a instant panic button to get his health back. but still farming away on him up to about 3,000 gold, probably going for Heart next, though it could possibly be Butterfly, particularly since a lot of the damage on the side of KP is coming out of that Lifestealer. He's unlikely to build an MKB, at least not in the near future. So they could be thinking about that. I guess Sing Sing does a lot of damage too, though. I think he's a little bit less likely to actually be attacking him, and of course you can't evade the splash damage.
Yeah, he picked himself up a Basher, which is interesting because normally he doesn't hit that much during a fight, he just hits hard. That's his strength. MKB picked up by the TA, so she'll be able to eat through the Butterfly of Envy.
Dire's bottom
And no new
tower
item
is
yet up on the
under
Entomage. He is still farming, but because he bought back, he just got shut down real hard. And he needs to have buyback for the next fight as well. And that is just holding him back from buying more items, from buying new items. In the meantime, I think like KP, they didn't get this Aegis. I think they're gonna wait for the next Roshan. I really hope they don't, but it looks like they will.
It's hard to say. Right now they have an advantage in gold still, but if they keep waiting, this gold advantage that they have, it's not really getting bigger. In fact, it's gotten a little bit smaller. And if they wait too long, that advantage of, it's about 10k, right? Yeah, something around 10k, is going to be smaller and smaller just because of the large amounts of gold that are on the map for both sides.
Yep.
So they're waiting, but Animage is getting bigger. Resolution is huge at this point. He has an MKB finally, so he did decide to go for it, just to be able to kill Gyrocopter, and that's going to be a lot of damage coming out of this Templar Assassin. Resolution hitting for 400.
Yeah, and as just pointed out, this is the first time that a Kunkka in a competitive match picks up a Basher, though the Abyssal Blade has been bought once off the bat. So you can imagine a very rich Kunkka then picking up an Abyssal just to have the stun. But a Basher, first time. Probably will be an Abyssal though. So we'll see if he goes for that right now, as he could. No? Okay, then no. Jackal in the meantime farming on the Dire Jungle, 4,200 gold for him. And he has got a hate train coming for him.
Yeah, they're trying to set up a Genka Jackal. He should just be ready to back off. He's hanging out, maybe just waiting for creeps to respawn in the jungle, or waiting to see if someone shows up in lane.
Maybe he
Going to know
thinks
that
he
they're
can
there
kill
now.
Envy by himself. And doesn't know that there's people around.
I don't think he can actually take Envy in this fight right now with that Butterfly up on Envy, and he doesn't have an MKB or anything on his own side.
I'm not quite sure, because I think he saw that. Oh my god, he jumps himself to the creep. Just when the... Oh! Pylite died, TP'd himself away. And then Antimage blinks towards the creep camp and is able to just get the kill. And there is indeed the Abyss kills on the creeps that is there. The Abyssal Blade on Kunkka is there. So that's his item that he went for.
Yep, and he actually has no buyback with that Abyssal Blade pickup, but he does a lot of damage. And they might be betting a lot on these splashes to really hurt.
Oh, open
iCCup.
wounds up on the TA again. Quite interesting, because that's not really the target you would want to have. There goes Kunkka. And that's gonna be an Abyssal out of the game already, out of this fight anyways. Come with me, will be allowing to kill himself again. Does end up doing so, but no teammates around to heal himself with. There goes another open wound just to slow down Mag. Dual breath going through the ice path. They might be able to do that. Mag does end up going down. Bone 7 tries to open up a resolution next. Blink forward on Jackal with the Mana Void, picks up the Jakiro and now is running for his life and ends up going down. Did he actually use the cheese? No, he did not. He could have, but he didn't. Aegis will go down. Resolution, running for his life, taking a lot of damage, will end up going down. Bone 7 with the double kill, Envy with the killing spree. We just sick, can't TP himself out. That's a team wipe on the favor of KP. What can they get in return for this though? Can they buy back? They should be able to buy. Yeah, they can buy back. They're gonna force out the buybacks. And no cheese used.
Oh, that was the sloppiest fight from really both sides. Kunkka gets picked off again to start the fight. Sing Sing should be aware that that's what they've been doing. He's the obvious target. They can't really kill Bone 7 fast enough. Of course, Eternal Envy does have that Lincoln, so I guess it's working out decent for them, but they're going to force at least a couple buybacks out.
Yeah, the melee Rex though, 4 to 5 for now. Buybacks all around. Bone 7 doesn't want to finish the job. And raging himself out. Here comes Mag with a blink on the force arm. Gets the last super on Bone. Envy decides to go for fight as well. They will get help also from the Shrek who comes back. But Bone 7, it might be too late for him as he will end up going down. Nobody on the side of iCCup still dying for this fight just yet. As Jackal is fighting illusions. Ends up backing up. Resolution with the refraction able to keep himself up as well. And they still get the bed rider though. Flat Cannon MVP on the high ground. Awkward circles being drawn. Come with me. Ends up finishing off the racks. Tries to go for something, gets a demonic purge, gets a split earth up on illusions, just that, but he will go down, but that's a worthy death. He got the Rex, he got what he came for. On the torrent with Jackal, now he used the cheese. Boat will still fly up on We Just Think. He will end up going down again. Of course, he was also one of the people that bought back. This is the last fight, or this could be the last fight for iCCup as KP. If they win this one, there's no more buybacks for iCCup. Look at that flat cannon. Kills up always want to fly, and all Envy did was hitting on the racks. That is the gyro for you, with an MKB, with the butterfly, with 4 stacks of Shadow Poison. Doesn't really hurt him at all. They just rotate towards the next tier 3 tower, which is on the bottom lane. And everybody back here, almost 4 KP, or there's just been 3 actually. Call down coming down, Envy still taking a lot of damage. Resolution turns on his BKB. Has to go back again, takes a lot of damage, 35 HP away from dying, and will pop the refraction, should be able to stay alive, gets chased down by the illusion, and that illusion might actually be the end of him. If he pops at the refraction, but he doesn't. His Rex though, they will go down, and KP takes 2 set of Rex. 4 set all the buybacks, well, 1.5 set rather. 4 set all the buybacks, and they don't continue going since Jackal's back up alive again.
Yeah, that fight, it goes the way of KP very heavily, and that's all on the back of Jackal just kind of dying for no reason in the dire base. He blinks forward to kill that Jakiro with his ultimate, and then doesn't pop the cheese and suicides. It ends up basically kind of throwing away their sort of momentum that they had built up.
Yeah.
Where they weren't so, it wasn't feeling like they were so far behind, but they end up using too many spells, I think, not on Eternal Envy, and Gyro, maybe that's what the Lincolns ends up doing for him, is they don't focus on him as badly, because he has that Lincolns, they're like, well, we'll just try and pick off these other heroes first and then focus him down. But Eternal Envy does a lot of damage in fights now, because he has MKB, his Butterfly, Manta. He's hitting for 400.
Why do you think Envy is going back to base? I thought he was gonna pick up a Divine Rapier, as he has got the gold for that. What's he gonna build with that?
I don't.
A mysterious
I would bet he's not building anything yet, but it's possible he just goes dataless.
Oh,
I think he's saving
is.
for buyback. Yeah,
No, it's dayless. But boring. But that's of course to be expected, I guess, in this kind of game, because you can still lose this if you lose the Divine Rapier to an anti-mage. Not really ideal to have. So, or the resolution actually. But yeah, he ends up going for the safe build. Goes for the deadless. Sorry.
Yeah, and he actually doesn't even pick it up. He is saving for buyback.
Yeah.
Which is not particularly surprising. He doesn't want to throw. His team is doing fine. You know, if they get one sloppy fight and Eternal Envy goes down and can't buy back, they can push all the way through pretty quickly here with the amount of damage that Resolution can really do. Butterfly finally finished by Anti-Mage.
Well, there's already an MKB up on the board, so it's not going to help him that much, apart from him, of course, doing more damage. The question is, where will the next fight take place? Because if it takes place at the top lane near the racks of iCCup, I think they're going to go down regardless, because of all the damage going through and just with the Edict being there as well. If the fight takes place near the racks of KP, KP will lose the racks, and we might see iCCup being able to just go for the throne as well. And it's really dependent on how the lanes are pushed out as well. And I'm kind of hoping that maybe the next fight will be at Roshan, because that is only 1 minute away. And right now there's already a 30 minutes delay on the next game that should have happened, and I'm hoping that Mouse Sports is actually able to wait, because that is of course the next game. KP versus Mouse Sports will be next. Deadless now, indeed.
And this one should be over pretty shortly. I think they're waiting the next minute at least.
I thought it was at 30 minutes, I thought it was about over, I have to admit that. I thought like after that tier 2 tower on the bottom lane went down inside of iCCup, KP went for the Roche. I think that this is looking logical. We see this time and time again. All the outer towers cleared out, you go for the Roche, then you go up high ground and you kill off your enemy team and you win the game. But they stopped my trail at the Roshan. They took the Roshan and then blank. But yeah, that was 30 minutes ago. We are in the meantime 3 Roshans ahead of that. We are 45 minutes into the game. We are 15k gold in favor of KP. We are 12k experience in favor of KP. And iCCup, of course, they are 3 racks down, only have 3 left standing. One of them is or 2 of them are ranged and 1 melee, so not really looking that ideal for them at this moment. And this is Roshan up again. This is KP's Roshan, unless Envy or unless iCCup challenges it, which I think they should.
They're too far away. They can't even get there in time. That Roshan went down in like 3 or 4 seconds.
Pretty fast.
There's a lot of physical damage from both sides.
Lincoln Sphere up on Bone 7, so no more lassos up on him either. Only the 13th time a Lifestealer done that. 1% of the games. Lifestealer, of course, been picked up very often. He is sitting inside Envy, by the way, which is an odd choice because Envy can't really blink or anything like that. Can't really go for a strong initiation. But might be the target of a lasso, in which case that would be something that would put him in the middle of the fight. But he is hoping that he does get lasso. But KP, they just go high ground with this, rotate towards the top lane, going for the tier 3. You see that Bat Rider is way far away. There's the Infest out, opens up, up We Just Seek. Lincoln's already popped there. Here comes the last two though, up on Envy indeed. Ice Path hits upon We Just Seek. Resolution there as well as the boat flies in. Jackal gets picked up so fast. Resolution and Mag running themselves away. Buyback coming up from Jackal. What can he do though? Mag is already dead. Still we have the Kunkka going down, but the Aegis was there. We'll be back in just a moment. Bow 7. Trying to keep himself up, which is seemingly fairly easy. Goes for the supports. TA dies, buys back, but it looks to be pretty over. Look at the HP bars from KP. That suicide from... It wasn't even a suicide from Lerstrike, he just died. Ends up going down anyway. And that is going to be an infest into a creep. It looks like Bow 7 though still going down, and the Rex not dead. They try to go for more. Jackal jumping himself after. Gosept helping out. Gosept helping out, that is, up on the Jakiro. Nice cooldown, trying to help out as Entimates goes down again. Resolution getting chased down. Ice Path still hits. Homing Missile coming in as well. Rocket Barrage. Lincoln's getting popped because no disruption going to be there. And Resolution goes down. And that is just one Shadow Demon left standing on the side of iCCup. And that looks to be GG. As this is Mega Creeps for KP after a 57-minute long game that they were ahead in the entire time, but weren't able to finish it until just now.
Animage blinked into the boat to die.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but he was standing next to Kunkka, and his solution was, instead of blinking down the cliff, was to blink directly to where the boat was going to hit, and it got him killed. So not the best showing, I think, from Jackal for iCCup. He ended up being able to start getting some farm, but even with all the farming, he was able to eventually pick up. It felt like he made some bad decisions, I think, and as a result, kind of never really was able to get in the game. Even though KP, they made some strange plays as well, and there were some good fights for iCCup to stay in it.
Very much so, and we are of course jumping ourselves fast in the next game. It is Mouse Sports taking on KP this time. Let's see if they have a bit more luck than iCCup, who just of course lost against KP. StarLadder Season 6, day number 20, one more game left. It is KP versus Mouse Sports. Stick around for one more game of Dota 2 action in StarLadder Season 6. Don't go anywhere.